What's up, y'all? It's Chef 24/7, and we appreciate y'all for the likes and comments this week. And just like we promised, we had a lot of views, we had a lot of thumbs up. We giving you the behind the scenes, step by step, of how to make char grilled oysters. And as you see, I got my hidden sound band on, you know what I'm saying? Cause I'm repping, you feel me? So let's get to it. You want to make sure when you're stirring, you want to make sure you're paying close attention to it. You want it to just melt, not really cook up, but you want it to cook up. You want it to kind of, the flavors to settle. So you want to keep it at a medium low heat.
First things first, we're gonna let the butter melt a little bit. You see I'm adding 2 sticks of butter. Now, I'm doing this recipe. This is actually different than the one we did originally, but you'll see both. Now, once you let the butter start to melt, you add your cup of garlic, or 2/3 cup. Go ahead and give it a stir. As it starts to melt down on your medium heat, you're going to start adding your other ingredients. So first thing first, we're going to go ahead and go straight with your jalapeno peppers. And they sell them diced in the store, so you don't have to dice them at home if you don't want to. Okay, giving a thumbs up as we start to whisk. Now we're gonna add our jalapeno juice. Now you're wondering, why did I do the jalapeno juice separate from the diced jalapenos? Because you actually want the jalapenos to cook up in the butter first, and then add the juice as to kind of cut the butter that's in there to actually build up the flavor with the butter and the juice. But you also want to kind of knock down some of the heat from the jalapeno, so you want to cook them up first. Add your Parmesan cheese. And as your Parmesan cheese start to get into the mix, you add that. Now the jalapeno juice is mixing in there. Now you're starting to see a difference. Now, some people will add lemon juice, and in certain recipes there are lemon juice, but in this particular recipe we're not doing lemon juice. And as you see, it comes the other half hour garlic, a little bit of juice in there. Add a little water, you can make a little juice, and now you're stirring. And you're gonna let it really cook up for about a good 3 minutes, and you want to let it simmer, slow rolling cook for about 3 minutes, 3 to 5. And you want to kind of keep it as a good stir, but you want it to cook really good, so you let it cook for, like I say, a good 3 minutes. Now, as you see, I'm starting to let it simmer a little bit, not touching it. We're going to bring a little bit more seasoning to it, and I'm going to give it a light stir. So go ahead and do that for me, chef. Nice. 1, 2 pinches, 3 pinches. And once again, you want to give it a little stir. Like I said, you want to keep a slow heat, mind you. You have your Parmesan cheese in there, and you don't want that to burn your dish. Now, once it starts gearing up, you want to kind of slow it down. Go ahead and cut it down to low, and you want to let it simmer for just a few minutes before you add your final steps, which is your Italian seasoning. You can add a squeeze of lemon juice at this point. Then throw it a little more jalapeno peppers. Nice guy.
And if you got to, you can always balance the flavor to fit you. So you know what I'm saying? I always add the Italian seasoning at the end, just a pinch. You don't really need a lot, just because of that basil and oregano in there. It's gonna bond with that butter and that garlic and that flavor, and it's just gonna make something magic.
All right, enough of that guy. Back to the voice. So anyways, it starts to simmer down. We're gonna go ahead and add our Italian seasonings. Like I say, this is a slightly different recipe, but it gives a more robust taste to the oysters. And once again, we're gonna stir, and then we're gonna cut it off, and we're gonna let it set for about 5 minutes.
All right, guys, I'm about to give y'all the mise en place. That means everything's in its place, especially if we're gonna shuck oysters. You need your oyster shucker. If you don't have an oyster shucker, they're not that expensive. They're normally under $5, sometimes a little bit more expensive than that. These are a little bit more durable, and it gets what you need to get. But if you don't have that, you can use a smaller knife. But I'll forewarn, if you are not used to this, do not use this, please don't. And of course, gloves. You gotta have some gloves because the oyster shells can hurt you, and something to put it in. So let's go.
All right. So one thing I didn't say, have your bag of ice. Put your ice in a pan or whatever container you're going to put your oysters in as you shuck them. It'll keep them fresh. Sprinkle a little bit of sea salt or kosher salt or regular salt. It'll keep it really cool. It'll keep the oysters fresh. So you want to find a split that's in the back or in the center of the oyster. There's this kind of, rock formation. So wherever you could dig in, this is where the oyster shucking knife does its job. It's durable. It's able to dig into those crevices, and you're able to literally pop the shell open. A flathead screwdriver will work, but you got to be careful, as well as a paring knife or a prying knife, whatever one is called, as y'all saw in the trailer. Please be careful with those. An oyster knife, you're less likely to get cut, but be careful when shucking oysters and having your gloves on to avoid any kind of damage to your hands. Get your grill ready with your charcoal hot. And this is actually another one if you want a more restaurant style. You got your diced jalapenos, Parmesan, Worcestershire garlic, and lemon juice. As you've seen, I cheated. I used old footage to make it happen, but you know what I'm saying. Showing you the same results. You're gonna put up to a tablespoon of butter in each shell. It's gonna cook itself. It's kind of like putting a cast iron pot on the stove. You know what I'm saying? You add a little Parmesan once it starts to boil up. Grill your cheese, and voila, there you are, char grilled oysters. Enjoy.